Hello everyone, this is Sunil Santhosh Kumar from CSE department. In the previous lecture, we discussed about control structures. In control structures, there are three. One is selection statements, second one is looping statements, and the third one is jumping statements. So I already explained about selection statements, and now we will see about looping statements. So that is the second category of control structures. Coming to the looping statements, in this we will see why looping statements, what is the need of these looping statements, then what is the definition of looping statements, then what are the types of looping statements are existed in C language. Coming to the why do we loops? So why looping statement means in general, in order to execute a single statement or group of statements repeatedly, so at that time we go for looping statements, which means in general without looping, in order to display anything some certain number of times, usually we use a number of printf statements, so it takes more time. So to overcome that, we use a looping statement. See, for example, I want to display my name like 10 times. So without looping statement, usually we go for 10 printf statements. We must write 10 printf statements. They only display 10 times. So writing 10 times is that is more time taking process. To overcome this kind of situations, we have looping statements. So that is, see, why do we loops means it avoids code repetition. So no need of write the code again and again. Then it reduce the programming size also, because instead of writing in a previous example, when writing the instead of 10 statements, I write only one statement, so that it automatically reduce the program size. At the same time, why we use these looping statements in case of real time, when there is a automative task is involved, so at the place where the loops can used. So this is why we use loop statements. Then what is the definition of a loop? How we can define, as per examination point of view, how we can define looping statements? So it is very, very simple. The looping statements are used to execute single statement or block of statements repeatedly until the given condition is false. That means they execute the repeated statements repeatedly until the condition becomes false. Then it simply skip the block. So that is a simple definition. So looping statements are used to execute the single statement or block of statements repeatedly until the condition becomes false. So in examination point of view, I will give the simple definition. Next, coming to the types of loopings, there are mainly we have different types of loopings are there. One is we have for loop is there, then we have while loop, then we have do while loop. So these are the three looping constructs in looping statements. Now we'll see one by one with the example. So first one is about a for loop. So what it is actually, then what is the syntax of for loop, then what is the block diagram of for loop, then how the compiler can execute that syntax. So coming to the for loop, firstly it is one of the looping statements. So here it is also called as iterative statement also. Then you'll see the syntax. So the construction of the syntax is, see, the for loop has three parts mainly. First one is initialization part, then we have condition part, then we have modification parts. Then we can must start with the open curly brace, then we can write the number of statements, that is nothing but block of statements. After completion of a block of statements, we simply close that for loop. So this is the actual syntax of the for loop. So simply just remember the 3 points. So this is very, very basic of a for loop. So in advanced level, the for loop comes into different parts, or sometimes it is without statements also there. Sometimes we have 2 statements also we can write. So that is advanced point of view. But the basic thing is the for loop has 3 parts. One is initialization part, second one is condition part, and the third one is modification parts. Then here is a block diagram of for loop. So there is a pictorial representation of the given syntax. See, first we have initialization. Then we have condition. So the condition again, so this is represented with a rhombus symbol, right? So when the condition is encountered, it can check whether it is true or false. See, if the condition is true, then it enters into the body of the for loop and execute the loop statements. Then it goes to the modification. So after modification, it goes to the condition again. So this is the execution order of the, so here the block diagram depicts the syntax, right? Next, see, See, the 3 parts are initialization part, then it can check the condition, then execute the body of the loop, then it goes to update the variable. So this process repeatedly, right, until the given condition becomes false. So that is about syntax and block diagram. Next we will see with example, so that we will get more understanding. So here is a simple example for loop, right? Say as usual, we can start with the header files. Then we have one main function here. Then we have for loop directly. See, when the compiler reaches the for loop, what happens here? See, when the compiler executes the for loop, first it will execute the initialization part. So in our part, what is the initialization part? I is equal to 1, which means in I variable, so the one value is assigned here, right? Then the compiler goes to the conditional part. So this time the conditional part is I less than or equal to 5. The conditional part is I less than or equal to 5. So actually in memory, right, in 1 is there in place of I. So we can simply replace with this I. So that is 1 less than or equal to 5. Now the compiler can check whether this is true or false. So 1 less than or equal to 5 is always true. So when the condition is true, right, then the compiler enters into the body of the for loop. So this time the for loop has only one statement. So you can write more than one statement also, but this time we have only one statement. So what is that statement? We are using one printf statements. Usually the printf is used to display. So what it display here? We are displaying Mlritm. So in output, so display MLRITM. MLRITM. So you can add here backslash and also that is for new line. That is for new line. Next, once it is completed, again it goes to the modifications. So as per see here, as per working of syntax, after when the condition is true, execute the block of statement, then it goes to the modification. See here, what is modification here? We have I plus plus. Sometimes we can decrease also, sometimes we can increase also. So that is based upon our program. See here, this time we have I plus plus. So it is a kind of increment. I plus plus means which is similar to I is equal to I plus 1. So already 1 is there in memory. So when you replace with 1, so 1 plus 1, then I value becomes 2. So here memory I value is replaced with the 2. Next, after modification, right, then the compiler again go back to the conditional part. Now again check. What is the condition here? I less than or equal to 5. What is I value in a memory? 2 is the value, right? Then you can check again. So now I value is 2 less than or equal to 5. Yes, the condition again true. So enters into the block, again execute the statement, that is MLRITM. So displays MLRITM. After body, then again go to the modification I plus plus. So I plus plus means I is equal to I plus 1. Again this expression is evaluated, then you will get so 2 plus 1. Then I value becomes 3. Then I value becomes 3. After modification again go to the condition statement, then check the condition again. Now 3 less than or equal to 5. 3 less than or equal to 5. Again the condition is true. So that enters into the body. Again display MLRITM. Then again compiler go to the modification, that is I plus plus. Again I plus I value becomes 4. Then test the condition. See 4 less than or equal to 5, again true. Then display MLRITM. Then again go to the modification, that is I plus plus. Now I value become 5. Then check the condition again. Now it become 5. 5 less than or equal to 5. Again condition is true. Enters into the body. Again MLRITM. Then it goes to the modification I plus plus. I value becomes 6. Then check the condition. So 6 less than or equal to 5. Hence the condition is false. So in for loop, when the condition is false, right, instead of going to the inside of the loop, simply it skips the for loop and execute the next statement. So what is the next statement? Is it is return 0, which means successfully executed. Then it goes to the main close, end of the program. So in this output of this program, see The Mlritm is displayed in 5 number of times. See, the help of only single statement, instead of writing 5 statements, we write only one statement. So that is the advantage with the for loop. So by using a looping statements, we can execute single statement or group of statements. So as per our syntax, single statement or block of statements repeatedly executed until the given condition is false. So that is about for loop. So there is a another similar thing is there, that is a nested for loop is also there. So this is exclusive in different situations. See, a nested for loop in C is a loop inside another loop. So nesting means one thing into another thing. So your nested for loop means when you define one for loop into another for loop. So loop inside loop simply. And nested loops are useful for processing multi-dimensional tables, then matrices, then matrices. So there is a specific need of nested loops are there. When we use nested for loops means there are different situations, like when you are working with the multi-dimensionals, or when you are working with the matrices, or when you are working with the pattern types of programs. All these situations, nested for loop is very perfect. Now we'll see what is the syntax of nested for loop. It is exactly same as for loop. You know that how to declare for loop. For loop has three statement, right? It is initialization, then condition, then increment or decrement, that is modification part. Let's see, I am declaring one more for loop here, that is again same initialization part, condition part, and increment and decrement. Now this is considered as inner loop. And the first one is considered as outer loop. So one loop within another loop. So first loop is considered as outer loop, second loop is considered as inner loop. So this is a syntax of nested for loop. Now we'll see how this syntax can work with one example program. So we already seen how for loop can works. So nested for loop also exactly working as like a nested for loop, but there are some differences there. See that the difference here. I am to print the 3 by 3 matrix of hash. I want to display hash in a 3 by 3 matrix form. You know that 3 by 3 matrix consists of 9 elements, right? So now we can print that matrix of hash. As usual, execution begins from main. When the compiler executes the declaration part, it allocates memory for variables. Here we have two variables, I and j. It has some memory also. Next, now the compiler is at outer for loop. As usual, it has three parts. I is equal to 1, right? So initially in I we have one value is there. Then after initialization, it goes to the condition. What is the condition here? I less than or equal to 3. So what is the value of I in memory? So 1 less than or equal to 3. Yes, the condition is true. So that it enters into the body of the for loop. So now this time in the body of the for loop, again we have one more for loop is there. So that's why it is called as nested for loop. How this nested for loop executes? See, again the initialization part executed initially, that is j is equal to 1. So in memory we have j is equal to 1. Then it goes to the condition part, that is j less than or equal to 3. So what is the j value here? Again 1. So 1 less than or equal to 3. Again the condition is true. So that it enters into the body of the inner loop. Then what is the statement here? We are printing hash only. So directly in output display hash. Then after this statement, again it goes to the modification part of inner for loop, because we are in inner for loop. So that it goes to the modification part of inner for loop. Then again it goes to the conditional part of inner for loop. Then again check j less than or equal to 3. What is the j value? So here j plus plus, after j plus plus, j value becomes 2. J value becomes 2. Now you can check the condition. So 2 less than or equal to 3. 2 less than or equal to 3. Yes, the condition is true. 2 less than or equal to 3 enters into the body. Then printf will execute. So what is the printf? We are printing hash here. Then again j plus plus. J value becomes 3. J value becomes 3. Then goes to the conditional part, j less than or equal to 3. What is the j value in memory? 3. 3 less than or equal to 3. Yes, it is true. Enters into the body. Then display hash again. After body, it goes to the modification, that is j plus plus. then j value becomes 4. Then check the condition again. What is the condition? J less than or equal to 4. Now 4 less than or equal to 3. 4 less than or equal to 3 is false. So that it simply skip the inner for loop and goes to the next statement. See, what is the next statement here? Printf, we are printing the new line. That means the control is transferred from here to here. Right? After this statement, the control transferred to the increment and decrement part or modification part of the outer for loop. Goes to the, see, after executing this statement, the control is directly transferred to the modification part of outer for loop. So what is the modification part of outer for loop here? That is I plus plus, which means I value becomes 2. I value becomes 2. 2. Now it is updated. Now after modification again, it goes to the condition part. Again, it goes to the condition part. What is the condition part here? So 2 less than or equal to 3. Now the current value of I is 2, so that it can check 2 less than or equal to. Yes, the condition is true again. So enters into the body of the inner for loop. Body of the inner for loop. So what is the body of the inner for loop here? Again, we have one more for loop here. So that is a J for loop we have. Now again, we can start with the initialization part. J is equal to, again it starts from first value, that is J is equal to 1. So you can write J is equal to 1. Then after initialization, it goes to the condition again. J less than or equal to 3. What is the J value in memory? 1. So 1 less than or equal to 3. This condition is true again. So enters into the body. So what is the body here? The inner loop body has only one statement, that is printf. We are displaying hashtag here. Right? Once it is completed, then it goes to the modification part again in inner loop, that is J plus plus. Then J value becomes 2. J value becomes 2. After modification again, go to the inner for loop condition, then they check the condition. So 2 less than or equal to 3. Yes, the condition is true. Enters into the body. Again, it display asterisk. Then again, modification, that is J plus plus. J value become 3. Now again test the condition. Just replace with 3. Then check the condition. 3 less than or equal to 3. Yes, the condition is true. So enters into the body. Again, display hashtag. Then after execution the statement, it goes to the modification again, that is J plus plus. Now J value become 4. Now test the condition again. So replace with 4. 4 less than or equal to 3. Hence this condition is false. 4 less than or equal to 3 is false. So that it simply skip the inner for loop and it goes to the next statement. What is the next statement? Printf. What is we are printing? Backslash, which indicates the new line. So that the control transfer from here to here. The control transfer from here to here. See, after this statement again, the control is transferred to the outer for loop modification. So what is outer for loop modification here? That is I plus plus. So I plus plus means I value increased by 1. Initially I value of 2. Then after modification goes to the 3 value. Then again after modification, as usual, it can check the condition. I less than or equal to 3. So what is I value now? 3 less than or equal to 3. As the condition is true, enters into the body. In body we have inner for loop, that is J, right? First initialization part we evaluated. So what is the initialization part? J is equal to 1 again. So now J is replaced with a new value 1. Then again goes to the condition part, that is J less than or equal to 3. What is J value here? 1 less than or equal to 3. Again the condition is true. So that enters into the body. This time inner for loop again same. We have printf, which means you can display hashtag again. Then after this it goes to the modification, that is J plus plus. Then J value becomes 2. Then again checks the condition. What is the J value now? 2. 2 less than or equal to 3. Condition is true. Enters into the body. Then display hashtag. Then J plus plus. J value becomes 3. Then again checks 3 less than or equal to 3. Yes, the condition is true. Enters into the body. Then display asterisk. Then J plus plus. J value become 4. Then again checks the condition. Now we can replace 4 less than or equal to 3. That is false. 4 less than or equal to 3 is false. So it goes to the next line, that is new line. So the control transfer here. Then after this, again the control transfer to the I plus plus. I value becomes 4. I value becomes 4. Now after modification of outer loop, it goes to the condition. So I less than or equal to 3. What is the current value of I? 4. So 4 less than or equal to 3. Hence that is false. So here outer loop is false here. So directly transfer to the out of the nested for loop. So outside of the nested for loop we have return 0, which indicates successful execution of the program. Then we have close program, which indicates ending of the main program. See, when you observe our output, so we have asterisks with 3 by 3 matrix form. So when you want to perform this kind of pattern programs, or you want to access a table of values, so at that time we go for nested for loop. So that is about nested for loop. Next loop construction is we have while loop is there. It is exactly same as for loop, but in case of construction, in case of syntax, this is different. So what is while loop here? So while loop has different name. It is called as pre-test loop. Why? Because first it can test the condition, then execute the statement. So that's why it is called as pre-test loop. Then meaning of the condition is checked before execution of the loop body. So that's why it is called as pre-tested loop. Then the loop continues as long as the condition is true, just like for loop. Then when we use this particular while loop, so when we use this particular, when we use means when you don't know, right, when you don't know in advance how many times you need to repeat the particular statements. So at that time this is very suitable. Sometimes we don't know how many number of times that particular statement or that particular block is executed. So at that time the while is very suitable. Then we see the syntax here. So it starts with the keyword while. So while is a keyword. So while you're writing this, we must write in lowercase, because all keywords must write in lowercase only. Then we have condition here. In brackets we have condition. Then we have to open the while loop. Then we have to write some statements. Then we must close that while statement. So this is a syntax. Now how this syntax can work here? Simply when the compiler reaches to the while loop, directly it can check the condition. Whether it is true or false. If the given condition is true, then only execute the group of statements or single statements. Once it is completed, after completion of block, again go back to the condition. Again check whether it is true or false. Suppose if it is false, directly simply it can skip the while loop. So that is a syntax and working of while loop. Now we'll see with one small example for while loop. So what is while loop? While loop is a pre-tested loop, which means before executing the statements, first we are testing. So that's why it is called as pre-tested. Here is example. See, you can always begin with the header file as usual. Then you can start with the main function. Execution begins from main. When the compiler executes the declaration part, it allocates memory for variables. So initially I value is 1. Then the next statement you have while. So when the compiler reaches to the while, so directly it can test, because while is a kind of pre-test loop. So directly we have a condition here. What is the condition here? So I less than or equal to 5. So what is the I value here? 1 initially. So 1 less than or equal to 5. Yes, 1 less than or equal to 5. So that enters into the body of the while loop. So this time we have two statements. The while loop has two statements. See, what is the statement? First we are displaying something. Printf. We are using printf means we are displaying something. What we are displaying? %d, double quotation close, comma, I. So we are printing only I value. So what is I value in memory? So in output 1. So it display 1. After that we have I plus plus. That is increment. So I plus plus is similar to I is equal to I plus 1. So which is replaced with I updated value. That is when you do I plus plus, I value become 2. So after this we don't have any statement. So that the compiler will transfer to the condition part again. The compiler automatically checks the condition. What is the condition here? I less than or equal to 5. What is the value in memory? So that is 2. So 2 less than or equal to 5. If the condition is true, enters into the body, then it display I again, so it display 2, then I plus plus, I value becomes 3. Now after the increment, it can check with the condition again, that is 3 less than or equal to 5. Is the condition again true, enters into the body, then display I value, then I plus plus, I value become 4. After modification, right, after increment, again checks for the condition, that is 4 less than or equal to 5. Yes, the conditions again, then it display I value, then I plus plus, I value become 5, right. Then it can check the condition again, 5 less than or equal to 5. Yes, the condition is true, enters into the body, printf display I value, the I value is 5, then I plus plus, I value becomes 6. Then checks the condition again, 6 less than or equal to 5. No, this is false. So here this is false. So that simply it can skip the while block and goes to the next line. So next line we have return statements. Then execute the successful. Meaning of return 0 is execution is successful. Then it goes to the main close, end of the program. So when you see the output is displays now 1 to 5 numbers. So in this case also, instead of writing multiple statements, by writing a while loop, we are displaying or we are executing single or block of statements repeatedly. So here the main difference is when we use while means, so when you don't know the right how many number of iterations, how many number of statement is executed, so at that time we prefer this while loop. So that is a while loop. Next we'll move to one more loop construction, that is do while. So do while is another name, that is pre-test loop. So while is post-test loop and do while is pre-test loop. Sorry, post-test loop. Do while is post-test loop. So what do you mean by this post-tested loop means? First you can execute the statement, then check the condition. So whereas in while, first it checks the condition, then only execute the statements. Whereas in do while, first it execute the statements, then it checks for the condition. So that's why it is called as post-test. We are testing after execution some statements. That's why it is called as post-test. See, here is a meaning. The loop body execute first, irrespective of the statement. First loop body is executed, then the condition is checked. So that's why it is called as post-tested loop. Then what is the main difference here while and while is, here is a difference. It always execute at least one time. Whereas in while, the condition is true, only execute the group of statements. Whereas in do while, it execute at least one time, even the condition is false also. So that is the main difference here. So then see the syntax of do while here. You can start with the do keyword. It is a keyword, so that we must write in lowercase. So enters into the body. Then after the body we have while condition is there. So we put semicolon here. That is a syntax for do while. So this is a syntax. How this do while execute? Compiler directly execute the block of statements in do statement. Then it checks for the condition. If it is true, again execute the block code or group of statements. Then check for the condition. So this process will continue how long, right? Which means and the condition becomes false, then it skips the do while statement. So that is a syntax and working. Now we'll see with a small example. The same displaying 5 values 1 to 5 using do while. So as usual, you can write main header files. Then you can start with the main. Execution begins from main. Then when the compiler execute the declaration part, it allocates memory for variables. This time we have I value is 1. See, directly do. So when the compiler reaches do, directly it enters into the body and execute the statements, because there is no conditional statement here. So directly execute the statement. So what is a do statement here? Directly we are printing I value, that is 1, then I plus plus. I plus plus means I value become 2. Then you can check the condition. So what is the condition here? 2. So 2 less than or equal to 5. Yes, the condition is 2. So that the condition is 2. So though that it goes directly go for the do statement. What do statement contains? Directly we have printf on I plus plus. What is printf here? We are displaying 2, then I plus plus. I value become 3 now. So again checks the condition now. 3 less than or equal to 5. Yes, the condition is 2. So direct execute the statement. So that is display 3, right? Then again, I value increase, I value become 4, then test the condition, 4 less than or equal to 5, condition is true, so that again execute the do statement, so display 4. Then I place, I value becomes 5, then test the condition, 5 less than or equal to 5, yes, the condition is true, so execute do again, so display 5. Then I value becomes 6, I value becomes 6. Now check the condition. 6 less than or equal to 5. No, this is false. So simply it skip the do statement. So it goes to the next line of do while. So what is the next line of do while here? We have written 0, which means successful execution. Then we have main close, end of the main program. See, what is the difference between while and do while here? So whereas in while, first directly checks the condition, then only execute the statement. So that's why it is called as pre-test loop. Now coming to the do while, so it is called as post-test loop. Means first execute the statements, then it goes to the condition. So irrespective of the condition, first execute the statement, then check the condition. So this is about do while. So that is a second category of control structures. So first category is about selection statements. Second category is about looping statements. Coming to the next category, that is jumping statements or unconditional statements. So here, as name specifies, the control transfer from one place to another place. So that's why it is called as jumping. At the same time, we don't put any or we don't write any condition for these statements. So that's why it is called as unconditional statements. See, what are the list of unconditional statements are registered? See, we have break statement, continue, then we have go to, then we have return statement. So these are the 4 jumping statements are registered in C language. Now we'll see one by one with the example. Now we'll see a break statement. So what is the first we'll see the purpose, then we'll see one example program. So what is the purpose of break here? So why we use break means, so break, the purpose of break is which immediately exit from for or while or do while loop statements, and also a switch time also, which means in simply you can tell break is used in a selection statement as well as looping statements. We want to exit from that particular selection statement or looping statements. At the time we use break statements. Then what is the importance here? So let us see with an example what is the use of actual break statement here. As usual, header files, then we have main function, execution begins from main, and compiler execute declaration part, it allocates memory for variables. So there is no initial value, we just declared. Then directly we have for loop. You know that for loop has 3 parts and execution begins from initialization part. What is the initialization? I is equal to 1. So in memory stores I value is 1. Then the for loop execute the conditional part, I less than or equal to 5. What is I value? 1. So 1 less than or equal to 5, yes, the condition is true, so that enters into the body. So this time the body has if statement, the for loop has if statement, directly if. So when we use means in order to test, in order to comparison, at that time we use if. So what is a comparison here? I is equal to 3. I am testing I is equal to 3. So what is the value of I in memory? 1. So it can test 1 is equal to 3. 1 is equal to 3. No, this is false. So this is false. So that it goes to the next line of if block. It goes to the next line of if block. So this is not true. This is not true. So this is false. So that whenever it is false, directly it goes to the next line of if block. Because in for loop, still we are in for loop. So after if we have, there is one more statement called printf. So you know that what is the purpose of printf. So printf display some value. So what you are displaying? So printf you are displaying I value, that is 1. See, after this again the control transfer to the modification part, that is I plus plus. So I plus plus means I value increased by 1. So in previous the I value is 1. After I plus plus I value becomes 2. Then test the condition after modification. So how for loop works? After modification it goes to the condition part again. So it goes to the conditional part. So what is the conditional part? I less than or equal to 5. Now what is the current value of I? 2. So 2 less than or equal to 5. Is this true? Yes, the condition is true. So enters into the body. So again this time the for loop has 2 statements here. One is if block and printf. Now we have first if is there. So it can check I is equal to 3. I is equal to 3. What is I value now? Memory I is equal to 2. So 2 is equal to 3. Is this true? No, this is false. So that it goes to the next class if block. That is we have printf as usual. Then you can display true value. Then after display, then it goes to the modification I plus plus. I value become 3. I value become 3. I value become 3. Then test the condition. 3 less than or equal to 5. Is this true? Yes, the condition is true. Enters into the body. Directly we have if. Directly we have if. So what is if here? I is equal to 3. What is the current value of I? 3. So it can test 3 is equal to 3. Yes, the condition is true. This time the condition is true. Enters into the body. Enters into the body. So what is the statement here? We have break statement. We have break statement. So what is break statement? Means it exit the loop when I is equal to 3. So when I value is 3, then simply skip the exit from the loop. So where is the exit? So exit of the loop is here. So directly it comes out of the loop. Then display loop terminated. So when I value becomes 3, so in output display 1 2, then loop terminated. Then we have return 0. Return 0. So that is a use of break. See, in general, if you don't have this break, usually it displays some 1 to 5 values. But this time I want to display only first 2 numbers only. So that I use a break here. So what is the use of break here? It exits from the loop, right? It comes out total from the loop statement, and it execute the next statement. See, that is the use here. See, jumping statements are transfer control from one part of the program to another part. So from initially we are in for loop, then it comes out of the for loop. You can transfer from one place to another place. So at the same time, what is the purpose of a break is particularly it is immediately exit from the loop. So it may be for loop, or it may be while loop, or it may be do while loop also. So that is the use of break statement. So there is another unconditional statement is called continue. So what is this continue? What is the purpose of this continue? Then we'll see one example program here. The continue statement. What is the purpose here? First we'll see the purpose. It gives the current iteration. It gives the current iteration of the loop and moves to the next iteration. Whereas when you observe in the break, right? So when I value is 3, it total exit from the loop. But it is not like that. It skips the current iteration only. Then it continues the remaining iteration. See, we'll see one with an example. As usual, we have header file. Then execution begins from main. Then in memory, we have I is equal to 1. Then then directly we have for loop. You know that in for loop execution is initialization. We begin with initialization, that is I equal to 1. Then I less than or equal to 5. Then test the condition 1 less than or equal to. Is this true? Yes, the condition is true. Again, see, same example here. I is equal to 3. What is I value in memory? 1. 1 is equal to 3. Is this true? No. I is not equal to 3. So that it simply skip the if block and it goes to the next line. What is the next line here? We are printing again I value in output. Display 1. Then after modification, after execution of this statement, again the control transfer to the modification, that is I plus plus. Then I value become 2. Then check the condition 2 less than or equal to 5. Yes, the condition is true. Enters into the body. Again check I is equal to 3. What is the current value of I? 2. 2 is equal to 3. Again false. So that it goes to the out of the if we have printf, directly we are printing I value. Then it goes to the modification, that is I plus plus. I value become 3. Then test the condition 3 is less than or equal to 5. No. Yes, the condition is true. Enters into the body. Then again I equal to 3. What is I value in memory? 3. 3 is equal to 3. Yes, the condition is true. Now the condition is true. When the I value is 3, it is satisfied. So enters into the body. Enters into the body. This time we have continue statement. This time we have continue statement. So when the compiler execute the continue statements, it holds the current iteration only. It holds the current value. Then it goes to the right after this in the compiler reaches to the continue. It goes to the next iteration. It goes to the next iteration, not exit from the loop. So when you see in the break, that is exit from the loop only. So it does hold the current iteration, so that it goes to the modification again. So what is the modification here? I plus plus, right? Which means our value becomes 4. Then again checks the condition. So 4 less than or equal to 5. Yes, the condition is true. Enters into the body. I equal to 3. Now you can test. 4 is equal to 3. Now the condition is false. See what happens if it is false? It goes to the printf and display I value. What is I value here? 4. Then again I plus plus. I value becomes 5. Then check the condition. 5 less than or equal to 5. Condition is true. Enters into the body. Now again check. 5 is equal to 3. No, this is false. So that it goes to the next of if block, that is printf. We are displaying I value. Then after printf again modification I plus plus. Then I value becomes 6. Then check for the condition. 6 less than or equal to 5. This is false. So when it is false, so when the for loop is false, directly out of the for loop, we have return 0. Successful execution of the program, and this close indicates ending of the main. See, when you observe the our output, see you have 1 to 4 5 only. See, there is one number is missing here. What is that number? 3. Which means, so here when I become 3, so that is current iteration. See, the purpose of continue statement is gives the current iteration. So when I value is 3, right, it is true, then it enters into the if block. Then we have continue. So what happens? Continue occurs. It skips the current iteration. The current iteration means current I value. So what is the current I value? 3. Then it skips the loop and moves to the next iteration. That means it transferred to the modification part. So that is I plus plus. So that you got 1 2 right 4 5 only. See the same example for break and continue. So if you take this example, you get a clear difference between break and continue. So when you use in break, you exit totally from loop, but when continuous occurs, it goes to the next iteration. So generally what you think means continue means the execution process will continue. That is not like that here. So when the compiler reaches to the continue means it holds the current iteration only, then it moves to the next iteration. So that is a use of continue statements. So there is one more unconditional statement is there, that is go to statements. It is also used to transfer the labeled statement in the program. So you can specify the labels. So go to is depends upon the labels only. So we have two go to statement, that is forward and backward also is there, right? So it also used to transfer the control from a labeled statement to another. We will see with an example. It is also kind of a jumping statement. As usual, we can start with the header file. Then you can start with the main function. Then when the compiler reaches to the declaration part, it allocates memory. Initially n is nothing. Then I value is 1. Then sum is 0. Now we have printf. So in case of output, we get the first statement as enter positive integer. So the user has enter positive integer. Suppose if you give 3, so my number is 3. Sorry. Entering 3 value. So the scanf can read that given number and stored in n variable. We already declare n variable. Then see, we have a label here. We have a start label here. So when the compiler reaches to this here, then directly enters into the label. Then you can directly check for the condition. What is the condition here? If I less than or equal to n. What is the current value of I? In memory we have 1. Then I less than or equal to, what is the value of n? 3. So 1 less than or equal to, that is obviously true. Then enters into the body of the if. Then we have sum plus equal to I, which is similar to sum is equal to sum plus I. So where plus equal to is a shorthand assignment operator in C language. So this expression is similar to sum is equal to sum plus I. So now you can evaluate this expression. What is the sum value in memory? 0 plus what is the I value? 1. So 0 plus 1 you will get 1 in sum variable. So initially the sum value is 0, that is updated to 1. After that we have I plus plus, which means I value also updated with 2. Then next statement is go to start. See, when the compiler reaches the go to start here, it is immediately the compiler transfer to the start label because we have a go to here. So go to start means immediately the compiler transfer to the start label. In what start label consists? We have one if block is there, right? See, what is that if block? I less than or equal to n. We are testing. Now, what is current value of I? 2 in memory? We have 2 less than or equal to 3. So that is always true. Enters into the body. Again, we can calculate sum. See, again we are going to calculate sum. So sum plus equal to I, which is similar to sum is equal to sum plus I. And what is the value of in sum? So previously we have 1. Then what is the current value of I? That is 2. 1 plus 2. Then become 3. So sum is updated to, sum variable is updated to 3. Then I plus plus. I also updated to 3. Then go to start again. So when the compiler is go to statement, automatically transfer to the go to label and start label. Again it executes the if block. Then I less than or equal to 3. What is the current value of I? 3 again. So 3 less than 3. 3 less than 3 always true. Enters into the body. Then it calculates sum. See, sum is equal to sum plus I. What is the previous value of sum? 3. So 3 plus 3, that is 6. It shows 6 value. Then updated with 6. Then I plus plus. After calculating sum, the next statement is I plus plus. I plus plus means I value updated to 4. Then we have go to start. Again, control transfer to the start label. Then again checks the condition. What is the condition here? Now I value is 4. This time 4 less than or equal to 3. 4 less than or equal to 3. So that is obviously false statement. So when the condition is false here, it goes to the out of the label. When the condition is false, it goes to the out of the label. So what is out of the label here? We are having a printf statement here. What is the use of printf? To display. What you are displaying? Sum of first percentage the natural numbers is. So simply directly display sum of first. So this is for n. So what is the n value? 3. So the sum of first 3 natural numbers is equal to, and displaying sum here. So that is for this t. So this n is for per. So this d is for sum. So what is the value in sum? 6. So you are calculating the sum of first n natural number. So suppose if I give n value is 3, then what is the sum of this? That is 1 plus 2 plus 3. So that is sum of n natural numbers. We'll get the 6 is the result. So like that we can use the go to. So go to is always followed by label. So that is very, very important. The last one is we have return statement. It is also kind of unconditional or jumping statement. What is the purpose of return here? So it exits from the current function and optional returns a value. So especially this return is exclusively used in functions only. So that's why it is exit from the current function and optionally returns a value. That means we can execute the programs without return statement also. Now we'll see with one example using return statement. So this is example about functions concept. So that what do you mean by functions means functions are subprograms. Functions are also known as subprograms. What do you mean by function means a collection of statements which are included within a open curly brace and closed curly brace and which perform particular tasks. So that is the meaning of function. In order to work with functions, the user is to write or remember the 3 elements. That is nothing but function, declaration, function call, then function definition. So in order to work with the functions, we need 3 elements. We should declare function first, then we need to call that function, then we have to define. with example program. So directly I am defining the function here. In my program, directly I am defining the function firstly. See, there are different ways we can define our functions. First, we can write the main function, then we can define our function, right? But this time, directly I'm defining my function, then I'm writing the main function. So in this case, there is no need of function declaration. Usually, we have three elements, right? Function declaration, then function call, then function definition. In order to give a function, we must use this, right? But in this case, there is no declaration because directly I am defining my function starting. So that in this case, declaration of function is an optional. So that again, I can write main here. Execution begins from main. Int result is equal to add of 5 comma 10. So now it is act as a function call. It acts as function call. So here, when the compiler reaches the function call, immediately it is transferred to the function definition. Function definition, which means when the compiler reaches to here, directly it transferred to the function definition. Now, at the same time, the 5 value is copied into A, and then 10 is copied into B. 5 is copied into A, B is copied, 10 is copied into B. Now the function can execute. Now the function can exit. What the function consists, this time we have only directly return statement is there. Directly, because we are discussing with return statement, that's why I am writing directly a return statement. What it is doing here, see, it is doing some calculation, that is A plus B. We already write in memory, A is 5, then B has 10 value. So directly get replaced with these values. 5A plus B is 10. So 5 plus 10, that is 15. So here, this function can return the 15 value. This function can return the 15 value. Then again, compiler back to this place and directly replace with 15. Instead of add of 5 comma 10, right, in this total place, right, it is replaced with the 15 because this function can return 15 value here. So that here we have equal to, so the 15 is stored in result variable. So we have another variable called result here, right? So what it display? Sum is equal to result. So what is the result consist? 15, right? So the printf can display sum, right? What it is displaying? Sum is equal to result. What is the value in stored in result? 15. Display 15. Sum is equal to 15. Then we have return 0 means successful execution. So this is a simple example about return statement. So that is about the jumping statement. So the main overview of control structures is when you want to control the order of execution of the programs, at the time we prefer control structures. So in C language there are 3 control structures are existed. One is selection statements, then we have looping statements, then we have unconditional statements. Thank you.